Welcome to Fact Find. Let's begin by opening up a client file. It's currently filtered by client surname, so we can go and choose Michael and Jane client. My preference is to display their personal details, so I have all their information available on the screen. And I can also view notes or add them. Now let's click on Open. When you open a client file, you're automatically taken into the planning menu, Fact Find. And on the left hand side, we can see the available fact find. The entire fact find can be expanded or contracted. The fact find is organised in categories, and alongside each category name are the number of items that have been created for the client. If I choose people and entities, the 13 items that have been created for Michael and Jane are listed on the right hand side in summary form. If I want to go and look at the detail, I can double click on an item and go and change it or add information. So here let's go and add Michael's mobile number and save that off. Once an item's been checked, we can go and mark as checked. Or if an item requires our attention, we can flag attention is required. Maybe the information is incomplete. This will help us later because we can go and find flags and search for all the attention required flags to make sure we've got a complete fact find. If we want to go back to the entire fact find, we make that selection on the left hand side. Now we can search the fact find. In the search box, I'm going to enter the word child and return. This now displays all of the child items for Michael and Jane. And again, I can flag if I need to come back to any information. I can also sort in any order by selecting the appropriate column heading. So I might want to sort on description, or by owner, or by item type. If I want to focus on the client information, I can also hide away the available fact find by minimising that pane. In addition, I can also see detailed information on this window by choosing a different item view. I can display the detailed information at the bottom or on the right hand side of the screen. I can also decide to show notes, and if notes are present, the notes icon will appear in the summary view. On the far right hand side are all the tools to manage the items. So I can go and add a new item or copy, delete, print, move or merge, or view the next item, or go back to the previous. So if I go and choose next, I can see all the information, and it will make its way down the summary list on the left. And of course I can go back to the previous item. Now let's think about the catastrophe situations. And to view the settings on that, I want to go back and take off the detailed item view. I want to see only the expenditure items. So I'm going to click on Available Fact Find and choose Miscellaneous Expenditure from the list. I can now see all of the lifestyle expenditure for Michael and Jane. If I want to view the catastrophes, I can now see those listed on the far right. And in this example for holidays, I can see if Michael and Jane die, the value that they spend on holidays will be reduced to 80% of the 4,000 we entered each year. Or if they're disabled, the holiday expenditure stops altogether. On the far right hand side, I can also go and add an item, or I can add a new expenditure item from the option at the bottom of the list. So let's go and add a new item of expenditure. The last updated date, I'm going to use T for today as a shortcut for today's date when the information is correct. And I'm going to use the description while living. So this is for expenditure that's of a personal nature, and for both of them. The start date can be anything I want, but this is for their fun stuff, so we're going to start it at the beginning of the financial year because they're already spending this money. F for financial is the shortcut. The payment is going to be £100 each month, up to the retirement day for Michael, which is currently set at age 60, and then they're going to have a bit more fun at £200 a month. That's going to change again at 75, which is their later life age, and then it's going to reduce back to £50 a month. We can escalate the expenditure at our chosen rate of inflation, and we can run it all the way through life or end it if we wish. We can save that, and it'll ask us to check the what if selection and take us there. So here I want to look at the catastrophe settings. And let's look at Michael died. We're going to say that if Michael dies, the wild living expenditure will reduce to half the value, and the same for Jane, and then it's going to stop if either of them are disabled. In our list now, the wild living expenditure appears at the bottom. Just above that though, we've got a duplicate item, which I now want to remove. So I can go to the far right hand side and click on Delete Item. Say I want to delete it, or alternatively I could have used Delete key on my keyboard. Now I want to think about scenarios. I want to be sure that the settings I've got in the items for the scenarios are as I want them, and therefore are showing what I require for the client. To do this, I want to go back to the available fact find and select the pension items to display. In view at the moment, I can see two items, Michael's old mutual plan and Michael's personal pension plan. They're there because they exist in the scenario we've got selected at the top. They're in the current position. But from this window, we can go and check scenarios and show all items from all scenarios. Now we can see 4 items. To begin with is the old mutual plan. And on the right hand side we can see the 4 scenarios we've got set up for the client. And that plan exists in all of them. The next pension item is called Proposed Pension Take Annuity. And that only exists in the Take Annuity scenario. Likewise, the Proposed Pension with Take Drawdown is only in the Take Drawdown scenario. Michael's personal pension item that we saw originally exists in both current and the what if scenario. So we can be sure and confident that the scenarios we show the client are as we want them to be. In the Check Scenarios option, we can just show differences. So in the current position, we've got 3 differences, and the red ones are items that do not exist in the current position. We can see then the Take Annuity and the Take Drawdown scenarios are affected by the first 2, and the final one exists in the current position and the what if, but not the other 2. To get back to where we started, I'm just going to show included, and I'm going to take off the view for the scenario. So now we're ready to summarise. All the information that we need is available from the fact find. If I go back and expand the available fact find and list the entire fact find, we can remember that we can list items by category by clicking on the category, and we can make a search. We can flag when we've checked all of our items, or we can flag to say we need to revisit because information is incomplete and it requires our attention. We can always find flags and choose the appropriate one. We can sort in any order we wish by choosing the appropriate column heading. So that might be item type, or it could be description. We can also check scenarios and show all items in all scenarios, and also where appropriate, like expenditure, we can go and view the catastrophe settings. To concentrate on the information for the client, we can collapse the available fact find, minimise the fact find pane, and we can also include detailed item information. Finally, all of the tools for managing the items are over on the far right, so we can always add, copy, delete, print, move or merge, or preview an item, whether it be the next or the previous one, in summary or detail form.